All right, so here's this little core series to prepare you for your strength training, your big lifts, and to just really kind of get you in touch with certain areas of your body, specifically your abs, your glutes, and your lats. And then we're going to tie them all together with a plank, which is going to help kind of cultivate this principle we call irradiation, which is basically just kind of channeling tension through the body in order to distribute it into your lifts, meaning really kind of you're always distributing resistance into the floor. And that's really what we're trying to do with our body is we're trying to, as efficiently as possible, channel resistance into the floor, down into the ground, whether it's doing pull-ups and you're distributing it through your body down through the, the pull-up bar and through and through the rack into the floor, whether it's you're doing a deadlift and obviously it's driving through your feet into the floor, squatting, benching. It's about channeling that resistance through your body. That's what we're doing with the plank. All right, so cool. So let's dive in. The first thing we're going to do is called a hollow hold. What you're going to do is we're going to come into this position right here. We're going to hug the knees into the chest. We're going to lift the head, neck, and chest. And imagine, I like to think about as if you're trying to crush your ribs into your hips, right? Squeeze your ribs into your hips, flatten out that low back, get this nice and tight. That's your goal here. And it may even be, for a lot of people, it's even just staying here. And just coming into this position, really squeezing your abs. For some people, this just may be too much on their neck. So a lot of times it's just even learning how to tuck your pelvis, flatten out your low back, and engage your core. This may even be a good place for a lot of people to start, just learning how to fire up this area right here. And just tuck, flatten ribs down, hold for 10 seconds, and release and let go. If you can do that, right, then we're going to bring the knees in. We're going to lift head, neck, and chest. Hug the knees into your chest, and same thing. You may even just be right here, wrapping the hands around your chest. See if you can contract your abs, 10 seconds, and release. A lot of times I like to also add these quick, sharp exhalations. You can almost imagine it's like a ratchet getting tighter and tighter with each exhalation. Now, if you can get this, right, you can always take it a step further by beginning to extend your legs. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to extend so far that you begin to arch the back and you lose that tuck, right, ribs connected to your pelvis. So again, you can take it right to that edge before you start to break this position. If you can maintain this, you can start to extend your arms. But find that structure that allows you to challenge your ability to maintain, or the position I should say, that challenge your ability to maintain this structure, this hollow hold position, right? Go right to that edge and then breathe these sharp, quick exhalations, right, for 10 seconds. I like to do 20 sharp exhalations. So it's going to look like this. Hugging my knees in, lift head, neck, and chest, extend on out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it on in, rest and lower down, and then do that 2 to 3 times. That's your hollow hold. The next thing we want to do is we want to fire up the glutes. They tend to lag, or a lot of times we lack the ability to kind of connect with them and bring our attention to that area of your body. So just doing like a hip bridge is really key, really helpful. In a couple of my videos, I use a lot of DNS strategies, or breathing, doing the same movement, but really focusing on your breath. I think that's super important. But even just to kind of start off, right, you can just really focus on, but that slight tuck in the pelvis, kind of create this connection between your rib cage and your hips. Not to the extent that you did in the hollow hold, but just kind of neutralize this a little bit. Ribs, hips aligned. We're going to press the hips up. And same idea. Just think, drive through the feet. You can even pick up the toes here. Sometimes driving through the heels is helpful to get you focused on those glutes. And same idea. Just hold strong. See how strongly you can contract your glutes just to get you connected to them, right? Nice strong contraction, squeeze, 10 to 20 seconds, lower on down. So again, rib and pelvis aligned, breathe. just firing up those glutes. Next thing we're going to do is something called a prone cobra. Now, these are a little funky, and they're a little funky in the sense that we're trying to engage your lats, and they can be tough to find. A lot of times they'll dump into your low back. So if you follow these cues, I think it can help you more so be able to kind of dial in those lats. So this is the kind of the gross movement right here. Now the problem is if I lift like this, I'm going to feel this right in my low back and in my glutes. So really what I want to do is I want to push my shoulders back and down. And I want to think about my shoulder blades going back and down. And then I want to slide my pinky fingers across the floor. So I'm not lifting my arms as much as I'm just kind of sliding shoulders back and down, a little lift through the chest as I slide my pinky fingers down and out across the floor. That's what's going to help me find those lats and really kind of find that whole back musculature. Same idea here. I'm going to take a nice big inhale. I'm going to come into position. See if I can create, if I know I've got it dialed in, if I can feel this area right here and not so much here. Again, I'm going to lift head, neck, and chest. I'm going to slide those pinky fingers down and out across the floor, shoulders down, little lift through the sternum. Find that structure. 20 sharp exhalations or roughly 10 seconds. Really see if I can get these muscles to engage and then release. Again, same thing, 2 to 3 times. The last one we're going to do is a plank, and we call this a hard style plank. And really the goal here is to kind of create tension throughout this whole body. So we're basically linking everything together. All the exercises prior to this were really more about really focusing on certain areas or certain muscles in the body and getting them to contract and engage. Whereas this, we kind of want to bring that tension throughout the body. So I'm going to engage my core. I'm going to engage my glutes. I'm going to engage my lats. And so this is how we do a hard style plank. Same thing. We're really only wanting to hold this we want to do multiple sets of roughly around 10 seconds, 10-second intervals, right? So the way I like to count those 10-second intervals is that sharp exhalation, 20 sharp exhalations, roughly about 10 seconds of work. So I'm going to come into my plank position, starting off on my knees. I'm going to press on up. I'm going to squeeze my glutes. I'm going to engage my quads. Think about locking out the knees. I'm going to squeeze my butt. I'm going to fire up my core like I did with that hollow hold, ribs to hips. I'm going to push the floor away. And then I like to imagine I'm holding on the pegs here. And then I'm going to imagine like I'm trying to pull the body forward as I dig my toes in to stop me. So my upper body wants to pull my body this way. My toes want to dig in to pull my body in the opposite direction. So I'm pushing away. I'm pulling with my hands. I'm tucking with my toes, nice and engaged. Just seeing with each exhalation, how tight can I get? Again, quads are engaged, locking out the knees, squeeze the butt, quarter between the cheeks, fire up those abs like you did with a hollow hold, ribs to hips, push the floor away, pull the body forward as you dig the toes into the ground. Again, 20 sharp exhalations, roughly 10 seconds of work, and you're do like 2 to 3 of each of these 4 exercises. Or you can even do them as a circuit if you want to. But it's just a great way to kind of get everything fired up prior to your lifting. I hope this is helpful. See you soon.